Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the finance meeting for Tuesday, August 2nd to discuss ordinance 135122 for the sale of 56 North Lark Street to the city school district. This is a continued conversation. We previously met a few weeks back, if not a month or so ago, to discuss the initial conversation on this. At this time, a few concerns were brought up via some council members about potential parking scenarios related to the sale. So we did want to get some clarity on that. I believe at this time, a lot of that has been addressed with the council member that brought up the original concerns, Councilmember Robinson. However, I would like to give the floor to start to the appropriate school district representative just to brief us on the information that has been shared since we last met.
Thank you.
And also, sorry, before we get started, I forgot to acknowledge who is here. So let me go through that. With us today, we have Councilmember Megan Keegan, Councilmember Jenny Farrell, Councilmember Alfredo Ballerin, and Councilmember Robinson. I also see Councilmember Romero. From the city school district, we have a number of guests with us today. It looks like Tasha Anderson, Chris Honeywell, Martha Mahoney, and Durrett Miles. And finally, from the council team, we have our city clerk, Danielle Gillespie, and our research counsel, John Rafael Pichardo. Thank you. You can proceed.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Council, for meeting with us again. Again, I'm Chris Honeywell, attorney for the district. I'm joined today by Durrett Miles, who's the transportation director for the district, as well as Tasha Anderson, who's the assistant principal at the building, just in case more questions come up that hopefully we can have some more immediate answers. The concern last time raised by Councilman Robinson was primarily around parking and traffic, and that he was saying that some constituents had complained about, drop off and pickup around the building. I circled back with the relevant parties, and we determined that the back driveway is not currently being used for pickup or drop off. It's blocked off from about 7 a.m. in the morning until 5 p.m. in the evening. So the transfer of this land to the school district will have no impact on parking or traffic, positive or negative. It'll continue to be what it is. Although we certainly acknowledge the councilman's concerns. The district was receiving some complaints at the beginning of the school year related to traffic and parking, although as people got used to the building and the drop off and the way the flow would work, those complaints lessened. Additionally, the district entered into a lease agreement with a church right down the road to utilize their parking lot for additional staff parking. And that occurred in January of this year, so about halfway through the school year. So the district has not received complaints since then related to those two issues. So again, I'm not sure when those constituents made those complaints. If they were at the beginning of the year, we were hearing similar feedback, and we've been doing our best to address those, and we'll continue to do our best to address those concerns. But in my opinion, the transfer of the property would have no negative impact on either traffic flow or parking, as the area at issue would continue to be utilized as play space once developed by the district.
Thank you very much for that explanation. Want to open it up to committee members to see if they have any questions for Chris. Unfortunately, doing this on my phone, so I think I can't see everyone.
Has
but
his hand
Alfredo.
up.
So I'll just jump right in. Thank you, Chris, for that explanation. And so the issue that I raised before wasn't so much a concern with whether that back space was actually used for parking. The issue was really dealing with the amount of congestion at the pickup and drop off times for the school. And I know a number of neighbors raised some concerns that instead of changing it to a play space, how about adding more additional parking so that it can maybe alleviate some of that congestion. But I am since then satisfied with what the school district has done regarding congestion, which is contracting with one of the local churches in the area to use their parking lot for additional parking space to alleviate some of that congestion that the my constituents were complaining about. And so I am okay to move forward with this ordinance. I just, again, as I requested before, ask that the school district and the building principal or whoever's in charge of the building be responsive to concerns of the neighbors that live in that particular area. Because the goal is, definitely to be a good neighbor for the neighborhood. So I'm okay with moving forward with the ordinance as is.
Thank you, Councilmember Robinson. Councilmember Ballerin.
Thank you. I just wanted to echo the statement from Councilmember Robinson. Sometimes, just because we stop hearing complaints and people are putting up with, the bad environment or a bad situation doesn't mean that we shouldn't be looking to address and make it a better situation for them. So I just want to follow, concur those comments that I hope the district and the building administrators are always open minded and open hearted when they get these concerns and what may seem as complaints and just, well, you just have to put up with it. Well, that's not really the kind of answers the people who live in these neighborhoods want to hear. And I don't think that's the kind of answers that we want to have, the mentality that we want to have, with our school district. These are taxpayers, these are residents, these are people who live in these neighborhoods, and we should make sure we respect their opinions and respect their concerns. So when they bring up issues, the district is looking to address those concerns as quickly as possible. So I'm glad that some actions were done, and I hope the district continues to have an open heart and open mind when people who live in a neighborhood say that concerns have been brought up by the institution itself. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Ballerin. Councilmember Farrell.
Thank you. And people can let me know if my loud air conditioner is blocking what you're hearing at all, because I will turn it off. I really wanted to thank the school district for working with Councilmember Robinson to make sure that these needs were addressed. We're different parts working for the same group of people, and that partnership is really important. And that hasn't always happened, not necessarily because of any negative thing, but because of oversight. And I'm keenly aware of that because the high school is now in my ward, and I'm dealing with a lot of the things that I should have done when I was on the school board and pushing the high school project that I did not know should have been done. So we really, really appreciate your awareness of this, and hope that you'll continue in this vein so that some future school board member that might be on the common council isn't like, oh my gosh, why didn't I deal with that when I was on the school board? So we really appreciate it, because neighborhood concerns are the same concerns for the schools. The schools are part of the neighborhood, and if they're not, if they're doing things that hurt the neighborhood, then that's not what the school is for. So we just really, really appreciate your partnership on this, and appreciate all you do for the kids.
Thank you. We certainly appreciate, the council bringing these concerns to our attention, and, hopefully, as demonstrated from, we got the complaints in the fall, and by a few months later in January, we had a creative solution working with the neighborhood church there. So we recognize our part in the community as a part of the neighborhood, and we certainly take all those concerns seriously.
Councilmember Robinson, I see your hand is still up. Do you have additional comments?
Oh, no, I just forgot.
All right,
I'm happy to, oh, sorry.
I'll just say as well, thank you for not only your partnership to serve our city and your response, but also your flexibility with us and in terms of having a further conversation and making sure we got this right. So that being said, do I have a motion?
This piece of legislation, which I do not have the exact number in front of me, out of the committee with a positive recommendation.
Thank you. We have a motion to move out to the positive recommendation from Councilmember Farrell. Do I have a second?
Second.
A second from Councilmember Keegan, and all those in favor?
Aye.
All right. It's unanimous for those of us that are here tonight. So ordinance 135122 will move out of the Finance Committee with a positive recommendation. And this is the business we have for today's finance meeting. As a reminder, we'll be reaching out shortly to start scheduling blocks for the upcoming budget season. So please be on the lookout. I'll work with our staff to make sure that that gets out. And otherwise, appreciate you hopping on the line today. And thank you again to the city school district for your partnership. Have a great night.
Thank you, Council.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.